Elite 100 really means a lot to me because I get information that I cannot get anywhere else. I love the speakers, I love the people that are involved. Most of all, I love Brian DeMasso. He's kind of like a big brother to me, and he's been a peer as well, but I really just enjoy learning from him, and he's just got so much integrity and wisdom. So that's really why I love to be a part of Elite 100. I think the problems I was trying to solve by hiring Brian is, as an entrepreneur, it does kind of get lonely at the top. I've heard that over and over again, and it's difficult to find a peer that you can trust that also has the wisdom. So I was really just floundering in my own mind. A mind is a terrible place to go by yourself, right? And I was going in my own mind trying to figure everything out all day, every day. And just having a sounding board and having somebody that you can trust that's absolutely going to make a shift in your mindset really made all the difference for me. The only thing holding me back from investing with Brian was parting from my hard-earned money. Anytime you're about to make an investment, that's always like the fear factor that comes in, or what I've learned now, the terror barrier. So I had to kind of crash through the terror barrier at that point and go, you know what? I trust this guy, I like this guy, he's got a lot of people around him that obviously love him, appreciate him, and he's helping them grow. So it really didn't take me that long to make the decision, but eventually I did separate from my hard-earned money and actually ended up making a phenomenal investment. My initial investment I made back in 1 month.
How about that? Huh?
I did. Well, because I got started with Brian, and he immediately gave me a challenge. I've always wanted to do group coaching. I'm a coach, have been for quite some time, but I really never figured out the group coaching model. So he put some systems in place for me, and then he made a challenge. He said, you got 4 weeks to get it off the ground. So within 4 weeks, I had pre-sold way more money than I had invested with Brian, and it obviously is continuing to take off and do well. I think I realized that Brian had a skill set that I didn't have. He's a very technical thinker. He's got that engineer mindset, and I always like to pair myself with people that have strengths where I have weaknesses. So the more I talked to Brian, the more I realized, he really does have that area of strength that's going to fill the gap for me. And it absolutely did. It bridged the gap, and we've been taking off ever since. So the 3 areas that Brian's made the most impact on me with: education, confidence, and execution. I was already doing things. I was doing things well. I've been successful over the last couple of decades, but I've had a newfound confidence based on the information that he's been giving me, and I've been executing at a higher level than I have in years. It's no longer kind of push it off to the side or wait or procrastinate, and I'm now just absolutely taking action every single day. If I'd have found Brian 10 years ago, I think I would be much closer to my financial goals. I've got some very aggressive goals. I'm a multimillionaire, but I think I'd probably be well over 100 million at this point if I had found Brian back then. So I would encourage anybody that's serious about your wealth and serious about your family, take the time to listen and talk with Brian and jump into his group. He's got lots of different programs, but take advantage of something that he's doing, because it's pretty much impossible to fail if you just do the work with him. What exceeded my expectations working with Brian and the Matrix Group is how quickly I got a return on investment, but more importantly, it's not just the return that I was after. I was looking for another revenue stream, and he has literally tapped me into one revenue stream right now that's unbelievably prosperous, but at the same time, there's the others that are available that we're just starting to work through. So it's just been amazing how much money I've made in a very, very short period of time. I mean, if there's somebody that's kind of teetering whether to go with Matrix and Brian or not, one of the things that was holding me back a bit too was, how much time am I going to have to invest in this? And there's an old term called Occam's razor, and it's really getting the most out of an event with the minimal amount of effort. And that really sums up the Matrix Group, and it sums up who Brian is. He spits out more wisdom in 3 sentences than I hear from most people in a month. And it's so succinct and appropriate for the situation that I'm in that every single time I talk to him, I got a new perception of what I need to do and a new direction to take action on every single time. So obviously I've shared a lot about how my business has been impacted, but one of the surprising things that's changed is how much better my family is doing. You know, you are where you are because of what's gone into your mind, and you can change where you are and you can change who you are by what's gone into your mind even more. So the information that I've been learning from Brian and sharing with my family, and now they're jumped in to the same kind of philosophies and knowledge that I've been learning, our home is different. You know, we've got a culture of winning. We wake up excited every single day because we know that we're making a difference, not only for ourselves and our own family, but for everybody that's attached to us as well. During the process of hiring Brian, I was doing all of these new actions, and because there was a lot of newness and goals that I was going after, there was resistance that came towards me. And anytime you're trying to do something new, there's going to be resistance. But it all came almost in the same day for me. And I remember picking up the phone and calling Brian. I'm like, Brian, I'm in a storm. I mean, it's thunder and lightning. It's bad. And he said, brother, you're right where you're supposed to be. And just right when he said that, I calmed down and I looked at it through his eyes, and he gave me some words of wisdom that just kind of changed my demeanor. Then it changed my perspective, and then I was able to change my day, and then my week, and then my month because of it. So of course we got through the storm. You know, storms come and go. It's like summer, winter, spring, and fall. You know, seasons come, seasons go. And this was just one of those times where it was a real winter storm. It was cold and dark and damp, but through Brian's guidance, he got me through it very quickly, and I couldn't be more grateful to have him as my coach. In 2012, running my companies, not having the guidance that I have today, I ended up having a severe nervous breakdown. I had to take a sabbatical 6 months away from my business. I didn't know if it was going to survive. And one of the things, the biggest takeaway that I've gotten from Brian is he's teaching me how to conduct my business and my life in a calm, confident manner. And that is a new paradigm for me to think through. It's a new way for me to behave. In fact, I remember one of the calls we had, he said, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe 20 million. He goes, really, you? He goes, you should have a lot more than that. He goes, kind of close anyway. All right, well, I just don't want to be all that stressed out. And I said, well, ideally I'd love to have 100 million, but I really just want a lifestyle company. He said, why can't you have both? And it was that moment I went, why can't I have both? And I've been operating with these different mental programs that are holding me back from what I really want. And thankfully to Brian and the Matrix, it's turned my whole life around.